Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker. It's in the February, from around December 21st. The daylight continues to get longer. March, springtime is coming. Springtime, if you've ever noticed, the spring equinox tells us that the amount of daylight and dark in each day. For those in the northern, March 21st, northern hemisphere, that's what's happening, is that the amount of daylight and dark in each day is about equal at the equinox. So we're looking forward to springtime, towards spring harvests, and with that in mind, looking at a Japanese green tea from 2012, see what kind of indication it gives as to what we can look forward to for 2013. Scooped out enough to cover the bottom area of my Kyuso teapot here. I'm going to add my water slowly. Probably got quite a bit of heat on this water, more than the standard traditional amount of heat used. A little bit heavier in temperature. That's okay. Try to do all these with a little bit higher temperature. It draws out some of the characteristics a little bit more clearly. So set this lid on, let that steep for a moment, and talk about this tea, introduce it. This is from TeasofJapan. This is a Sayama MicrofermentedSenchaHokumei, I should say. 100 grams available for $26.58. This is a Futsumushi tea, how should I say, standard, normal level of steaming is the best, one of the better ways to describe the term. This is from Iruma town in Saitama Prefecture. This is the word Hokumei is the name of the cultivar, and this was harvested in May of 2012. It is an Ichiban, or often called, roughly translated as first flush. So that's the background information about this tea. TeasofJapan is known for, and I recommend especially going to the blog. It gives a lot of background information about particular farmers who have selected particular cultivars within their tea farms and harvest those in a certain way. Process those in sometimes unique ways. They've experimented, they've drawn out, found the little nuances here and there that make something unique, something a little more interesting than just senchas in general, gyokuros in general, and those sorts of green teas. So let's see what is interesting and unique about this one. I'm going to go ahead and start off here with the dry leaf. Light aromas. Some kind of mineral, metallic type of smells coming off. Not very intense, so I'm going to go ahead and scoop a little bit out here, just kind of look at it. Fine filaments, quite narrow, quite thin, slender. A lot of what I scooped out here is less than an inch in length, although you do have the occasional portion of leaf there that is an inch and a half, 2 inches in length, dark green, almost green blue in color, and so yes, fine. Looking down, this particular sample that I have here, a lot, I would say 20% is the longer inch plus type of leaf. Most of it is smaller than that. So I'm going to move on now. Talk about the wet leaf and the liquor. So what do we have to pour here? Got my pot ready to go. I'm going to rock it back and forth. Now, again, use more heat, a little bit of a longer steep time here. So that brought out a lot of deep, dark colors. If you steep and you don't follow, if you don't steep precisely the way I do, you can expect to get a much lighter color than that. Well, I'd say a significantly lighter color than that. So let that sit for just a moment to talk about this wet leaf here. Give it a smell here. Micro-fermented. Now, I mentioned that, and you can actually start to kind of see and smell some of that characteristic. When you open this up and you look at the leaves, you get a lot of the brown tinge color there, and you can smell a bit, and I could smell it some in the dry leaf too. There's something kind of dare I say oolong about this. There's something that's kind of sweet, woody type of smell that can be associated with some oolongs, especially Taiwanese oolongs, high mountain oolongs. You can get a kind of sweet, woody smell coming off of those. You do have some of the green, almost kind of the smell implies brothiness to me. Let me pinch out a little bit so that you can kind of see this in a picture here. And spread it out. I want to try to get as much of that oxidation, that brownness that's taking place. You can see that it's along the edges of leaves. You see brown blotches here and there. Usually, like I said, running creating an outline along a lot of these leaves or leaf portions here. I happen to pull out a leaf that's nearly completely intact. There's a little bit of this one end that broke off, but you can see a lot of leaf. And you can see some red-brown colors developed on that. I want to put just a pinch more, because that'll show off just a little bit more of that brown, that oxidation, that fermentation that the name is talking about. So you do not always look for or expect fermentation in your senchas. So I'm already seeing something that's unique or different. Now, with some fermentation there and the steep time that I gave it, this is a deep, rich olive brown type of color. I mean, it's olive green brown type of color there. There is a heaviness there. It's not transparent. You can't really see through it. There's a thickness there, a cloudiness from the filaments, the kind of fine micro type filaments there that came from the leaf. Less of that vegetal sweet pea flower, that kind of vegetable flower type of smell, flowering vegetable. Not so much of that. More towards more over towards a kind of a woody sweetness. Grapevine maybe. Some of your flowering shrubs, wood type of sweetness there. Again, dark in color, cloudy to the point that you can't see down through the cup. A bit of astringency, again, light, gentle. It's more of a light bite in the mouth. It hits just ever so briefly towards the front of the mouth. Let me give us another. I'm waiting to let this cool a little bit. Not a heavy, brothy texture either. No, not really bitter. Bit of a sweetness there in the back. Again, quite subtle, soft. Not very intense duration either. This one is picking up. It's almost starting over towards a first flush Darjeeling type of nearly muscatel, nearly woody, spicy, sweet there. It's in between that Japanese green and that Darjeeling. Oh, a little bit more towards the Japanese green. But in the aftertaste, it picks up a little bit more of that Darjeeling first flush, ever so lightly. And so you do get this almost grape skin type fragrant sweetness there, with a bit of that astringent, gentle astringent feel that can come off of a grape skin as well. This is a unique one. This sencha is hard to put in that same neighborhood or comparison area as other senchas because of its kind of unique qualities. Something that you might, if you like that, if you find those desirable qualities of the Darjeeling and the Japanese green, and you'd like to experience them together, this one offers some of that. So in that sense, worth exploring just for the enjoyment, the travel, the experience of it. So I'm looking at this again, hard to compare to others. Nice qualities. Going to be a bit unique. Not everyone's looking for these kind of things. I'm going to have to give this one an 89 again, just because it's not easily within the realm of comparing to other senchas in particular. So come back to Walker Tea Review to find those unique ones that are worth exploring and worth talking about and sharing those experiences that others just may not have or know how to get.